I've got an absolute banger of a video for you today. Somji here, and in this video I'm going to outline exactly how to go from $0 to $10,000 a month in a coaching, consulting or info business step by step. I'm not going to gatekeep absolutely anything, and this will work for you if you're a beginner just starting your online coaching business. Maybe you already have one and you're not quite at that 10K a month level yet. Maybe you've just thought about looking into it. Maybe you have a completely different career and you're considering adding coaching or consulting onto it. Or even if you're over 10K a month, I guarantee you'll learn a thing or two here as well. So strap in, we've got some really good stuff. I'm going to firstly just apologize about the lighting, got some glare going on the board here. I don't have natural light in this room when facing this way, so we're going to have to deal with it. But I'm sure you can see all the information and I'm going to break it down for you here anyway. So let's crack on right into it. When you're trying to build a coaching or consulting business, there's a few steps you're going to want to take. And you'll want to do them in a specific order, because if everything's all over the place, well, it's not going to make any sense and it's just not going to work. It's going to be complete chaos. I've done this for long enough. We've helped hundreds of people hit 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, even more. So I've refined this into 9 key steps that we are going to walk through together. If you want to take a screenshot or picture of this, feel free, but we are going to walk through these together and show you exactly how to do these. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Number 1, the first thing you're going to want to do is pick a niche. This is so important. I see a lot of people miss this out. Some people think, well, why should we pick a niche? A lot of big companies don't. Sure, Amazon may not have a niche, Walmart may not have a niche. But what people don't realize is a lot of those companies, they did start with niches, like Amazon started with books. And the whole reason for that is it's easier to be a big fish in a small pond than to be a small fish in a big pond, or to try and be a big fish in a big pond. Simply put, if you're solving one micro, small niche problem, you can solve it for people in their entirety. Let's say you're some kind of a health coach. Well, if you're just a generic health coach, well, what makes you stand out? What makes you different from the competition? Why should people go with you? But if you are a specific type of health coach who deals with, let's say, adrenal fatigue and helping people restore their gut lining, well, if somebody has that problem, you are the go-to person. You are probably one of the only people who is qualified to help them, and you stand out amongst all the other health coaches. That's the benefit. You can be number one in that category. Whereas if you just try and go as a general health coach, good luck. It's going to be very difficult to stand out. And then you're just competing with everybody. When you have that category of your own, you can easily rise to the top. So that's why you should have a niche. In terms of picking the niche, there's 3 universal markets in any kind of coaching, consulting, or just, I guess, online business. And those are health, wealth, and relationships. And the reason is those are very pain-causing problems, I guess we could say. Health, people will do whatever it takes to save or fix their health. People will do the same with wealth, to make more money, to prevent themselves spending more money or save more money. And relationships, exes, wives, marriage, children, relationships, these are very big universal markets. Now, can you do it in other things? Absolutely. But if somebody was just learning to paint their ceiling, or not have a light shining on a board, it's cool, but it's not really a burning problem. It's not a bleeding neck problem, as they would say, something that people will pay anything right now to solve it. These 3 universal markets are. So pick your niche in one of these universal markets. And once you've gone into health, wealth, or relationships, go a level deeper. So where would you like to go in health or wealth or relationships? And then go a level deeper still. It's not going to be a masterclass on picking a niche, but just to get you started on that. So the first thing is you need to pick the niche. Watching this, I assume you may even have one. If you don't, not a problem. You can look what else is out there in the market. And I think this is a good segue. If you're not sure about a niche, you want to think, what are you good at and what does the market want? And find the intersection of those 2 points. Because if you're good at something, but the market doesn't want it, no one's going to buy it. But if the market wants something and you're absolutely rubbish at it, they're not going to buy it from you either. So in that case, you'd either want to pivot your offer or increase your skills. So now you've got the niche down. What is step 2? Step 2 is, I'll move so you can see this, creating high ticket, that's what HT is, offer, and a sales process, including an explainer video and qualification. Quite a mouthful. Let me break that down now as well. Creating a high ticket offer. The offer is the vehicle which is going to take the person in that niche from their current situation to their desired situation. This is all sales is. We're moving people from where they are to a desired state. You sell them a car, you take them from immobile or taking the bus to driving. You're selling them alcohol, you're taking them from sober to inebriated. It can really work for anything. So you're facilitating that transformation via the offer. High ticket, because high ticket is going to be easier to make that 10K a month. Sure, you could sell a $50 low ticket course and sell 200 of them a month. That would be a lot harder than to sell, let's say, 3 of a $3,333 offer. I know that from experience, but also generally the cheaper ones, people can find something similar online. They're not going to get as good results. They're not going to be as committed to take action. And then you have to work with so many people versus working with 3. Anyway, that's why I believe you should do high ticket. And so for the high ticket offer, you can't just go and sell something for a whack load of money. 3 at 33, or 2 people at 5,000 or 5 people at 2,000. At those prices, people need some real certainty this is going to work for them. This is why we need that bleeding neck problem, because people will pay that much when it comes to fixing their health, making more money, saving money. If you have an offer where you can help people save $50,000 to $100,000 a year in taxes and you charge them 5K, that becomes an absolute bargain. Conversely, if you can help them make more money, if you help them improve their marriage, improve their relationship with their children. So you need to have a step-by-step roadmap to work with these people and get them there. That's why they're paying this money. So what I recommend for a high ticket offer is have their current situation, their desired situation, and you should know how to get there. Presumably you've done this or you've learned about it and you have knowledge and experience in it. So you want to break down the activation points that they must hit. If you think about this like, looking at my desk here, this isn't from IKEA, so I'm not sure why I'm thinking IKEA. But if you buy something from IKEA and they give you the instructions, which are always somewhat wrong or included something wrong, but they give you step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. That's what you want to do, so that there's no way, if people follow these steps, not just in a course, but you working with them as well, there's no way they wouldn't hit their desired outcome. That's why they're paying high ticket, and you want to do that by facilitating activation points that you're moving them through. So that's the high ticket offer. Now it's worth a big chunk of money. Next is the sales process. You can't just have an offer. You need a way to sell it. You need a method to take somebody from just seeing your content to being interested, to raising their hand, to then being pre-sold on it. And we can talk about this another day, but there's 3 sales they need to be pre-sold on. They need to be sold on you as the person who can help them. They need to be sold on your vehicle or your unique mechanism to help them get there, why they have certainty it will work for them. And they need to be sold on themselves that they can actually do this. Anyway, back to the point. The sales process should cover all 3 of these things, and it should also have an explainer video that does this. So once they are interested, they have an explainer video that you can move them to, 10, 12, 15 minutes, something like that. No super hard sales, but you're just selling them on the vehicle, how things will work for them, and see if it might be a fit for them. And then if it is, then they go to a qualification questionnaire where you can see if it would be the right fit based on maybe their lifestyle, their budget, their location, what they've done in the past, the goals they're looking to get to. They might not be a fit for you to work together, and you might not be a fit for them. That's the point of the qualification. So this sales process is to make sure people actually want it, they can actually see themselves doing it through the explainer video, and then you have the qualification. This is a well thought out sales process. It's not as simple as someone just seeing content and then jumping in your inbox and being ready to buy. You want to take them through this process. And you want to have this ready before you do anything else. A lot of people, they will just start with messaging and all other manner of things before having these things in place. And if you do that, you're just literally lighting money on fire. You will have, as you'll see, plenty of people come in, and then you won't even be able to capitalize on them and help them and obviously make that money for yourself as well. So this is the second thing to do. Number 3 now. This is assuming you are brand new. You are going to work for case studies. Your offer is going to be as strong as the proof that you can help people get that result, and the perception, the likelihood of perception that people will get that result. So if you can say that you can do something, but you have no proof. Let's say I say, look, I can help you lose 30 pounds and get a 6-pack. but I don't have one myself. I haven't shown anyone how, and I haven't demonstrated that with any case studies or testimonials. You're probably not going to trust me. And if somebody comes, my identical twin, let's call him Jay, and he's the same height, same everything as me, but he has 50 case studies of people that he's helped get a six pack, who are you going to believe? And the price and everything's the same. You're going to go with him. So this social proof is really, really key because it shows people what they're going to get. It increases their perceived likelihood of achievement, and it makes sure that they're not going to get scammed because anybody can say, I can help you do this. Where's the proof? So you're going to work for case studies. If you have them already, brilliant. I'm going to assume you're starting from scratch. If you are, then all you're going to do is you're going to go to some people who could use your niche. It could be friends, could be family, could be people in Facebook groups, could be people in your audience already, and you're going to ask them through posts, DMs, etc. I'm looking for 5 people to help get this outcome. Normally, $2,000 for the first 5 people. If we're a fit, we'll do that for free. Get them to DM you. Obviously, you have some stipulations there. They have to commit to it, they have to finish it, and they have to leave you a video testimonial case study. So you work with these people. And sure, most people, they're just trying to make the quick money and say, how can I make money today? You might work with these people for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but trust me, you're building up this social proof. Now, while other people are still floundering, guess what? You've got your niche, you've got your high ticket offer, you've got your sales process, your explainer video, your qualification sequence. You've got case studies. You've got 5 people or 10 people saying, hey, I worked with Rebecca. She helped me get from this to this. Absolutely amazing. I couldn't have done this on my own. I can't believe how helpful this was. You're ready so far. Now it becomes easier. This is the problem. It wants to fast track this process. It becomes so much easier to make sales now. So you've worked for the case studies. And before I move on, I would say get video case studies written, get as much as you can and get specifics, not just this person helped me. Where was the person before? Where are they now? What were some of their challenges? What were some of their limiting beliefs? How did you help them get past that? What would they say to anybody who's on the fence? Just giving you a perfect testimonial framework right there. Number 4 is creating content. So you can create content, obviously, before you've got the case studies. You shouldn't just do nothing, but you do want to get these. So number 4, creating content. I put LF, SF, and SS. Can you guess what they are? Long form, short form, and story sequence. Long form is going to be absolutely critical. A lot of people will miss this because it's not comfortable to do, right? It's not comfortable. It's not normal to just stand in front of a camera and look at it and speak into the camera and put yourself out there. But you need to do this. If you look at any successful coach, consultant, or even big brands nowadays, they're all doing long form educational content. It lets people just really build up a lot of trust with you and they can see what it's like to work with you before they do work with you. And by doing this as well, you're going to hit them in different areas and get a lot of watch time with them. So they could have spent an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours with your brand. And that allows people to just sit down. And this is the thing about long form content. YouTube is obviously the best long form video, but also podcasts. People will sit there, they'll relax and they'll just take it all in. And you're building that parasocial relationship with them. The next is short form content. Short form is obviously not as powerful as long form, but it increases the frequency and the relevance. Not everybody's going to sit there and necessarily watch a long video, but they might see some of your short emails. Sorry, not emails, short like Instagram posts. I guess you could say email too, but Instagram posts, LinkedIn posts, Reels, these different things. They might see that. Keep you top of mind, and you can drive people to the long form. You can drive them to other assets as well. And the third is the story sequences. So stories, people can see behind the scenes of your life. They can see what you're doing. You can put sequences to move them to maybe booking a call, to showing them different case studies, giving little tidbits of value. And when they click there, they are choosing to click into your story. So that's permission-based marketing. They're actually quite interested when they get to the point where they are opening your story every single day. So you've got long form, short form, and stories, and you need to stay top of mind. So you need to create content consistently. Might sound daunting, but you might put out one YouTube video a week like this, takes me 20, 30 minutes. You might put out one short form a day, which could take you 10 to 20 minutes. And then your stories, it's just like behind the scenes of your life and a few little random thoughts that you have on your industry and different things that come up. So really, this is your advertising. like how traditional businesses will advertise. Sure, you could advertise as well. We're not going to do paid ads under 10K a month, but this is your form of advertising. Moving on. So now you've got the content. You're creating this consistently. Now people are seeing, wow, like, look, he or she's putting out good bloody content in the niche. It's really going to help. I'm seeing their stories. I'm seeing their long form. I'm seeing their short form. I'm seeing their case studies. Can you see you're already ahead before even anything? You're already ahead of 70, 80, 90% of people. I'm in the coaching consulting space. And let me tell you, most people don't have this. My clients do. Most people don't. So that's creating the content there. Number 5. Actually, before I move on to number 5, when you do this, this is how you're going to generate leads. I should have put this here myself. Let me write it now. This is where you're going to introduce calls to action. Calls to action. You don't want to do these all the time and be super salesy, but once in a while, like on your long form, you could have a call to action, maybe once a week. On your short form, maybe once or twice a week. And on your stories, maybe once or twice a week. And a call to action could be a soft call to action, like it could be a short form, maybe you do a reel, and you could say, to see the full breakdown of this, comment video below, and I'll send you the full 28-minute video. Or it could be in a story where you helped somebody lose weight. If you want to see exactly how Derek lost this 10 pounds without giving up his favorite foods, comment guide, and I'll send over the guide. So that's a soft call to action where you're just getting them deeper in the ecosystem. You're not telling them, hey, buy now. It's just, hey, do you want this? Do you want more information? Or a hard call to action is where you could say, you're looking for people. Like, I'm looking for 5 people to help get X result in Y time frame by Z method. DM me this word for it. You want to be careful with those, but you want to do those from time to time. So you're sprinkling the calls to action in. And just a side note on the topic as well, if you're looking, like if you're like what I'm laying out here and you'd like my help, installing all of these pieces, and you can see we would do this thoroughly to help you get to that $10,000 a month or add an extra 10, 20, even more $1,000 a month. I'll leave a link in the description where you can apply it and see if we'd be a fit to work together to do that. Anyway, moving on. Number 5, outreach to leads and followers. And then we are going to use that to book appointments, send resources and follow up. So let's start here. Outreach to leads and followers. Everybody wants inbound leads. They're brilliant. And that's primarily how we operate. I don't really do much, if any, outreach. However, the way I want you to think about it is not I want inbound or I want outbound, is I have to be good enough to attract the inbound. So let's say you're hunting. Yes, you'll set up traps, right? But what if no animals come in your trap and you're living in prehistoric days? You can't just go to the supermarket and buy food. What happens if you set up a trap and no animal comes? Are you going to sit there, twiddle your thumbs and say, well, no animals are coming. So, sorry kids, we're just going to starve to death. How about that, huh? You're probably not going to do that. You'd probably be a bad parent if you did that. So what you're going to do is you realize my traps are not good enough. These animals are too sophisticated or it's just not working. I'm going to go out and hunt. And you want to do the same thing here. You can sit here and wait for as long as you want. If nobody's buying and run out of money, go out of business, but you probably don't want to do that. So then you want to hunt if that's the case. And that's where we do, where was I here? Outreach to leads and followers. So you want to start with leads. A lot of people, when they do outreach, they're just trying to start conversations and pester people. You want to start with your leads, the people who have booked a call but not bought, the people who have requested help but not booked a call, the people who have asked for a guide, the people who have asked for your long form, the people who have clicked into your stories, the people who have engaged, the people who have shown interest. You want to see who's had some subtle signs of showing interest and who's had some quite overt signs of showing interest. These are your leads in your pipeline. These are the people you want to move forward to see where are they, where do they want to be, what are their challenges, how can you help them? And if you can, then you propose a call in the form of booking an appointment. And then the other one we're going to do is followers. So yes, we're going to outreach to your leads, but you may run out of them or you may not have too many. Then followers, because if people are following you, again, let's pick another niche. If I'm a public speaking coach helping people improve their speech for speaking on stage, and somebody follows me, why on earth would they be following me if they weren't interested in that? They probably are, otherwise they probably hit the wrong account. So then that's where you can start a conversation with these people congruently. I don't know, for that niche, it could be, are you a public speaker or are you just looking to hone your speaking skills, right? It's very congruent. They're not going to say, what, mate? Like, why are you doing this? Because they followed you and you're into that. So that would make sense. And then you can move those people with outreach into conversations. Now that you've got these and you're moving through that sequence there, that's when you're going to book appointments. So the people that you find that you can help, not everybody, I don't want you pitching everybody, but when you find somebody's in a position and they have a desired outcome and they have challenges that you can help with and they express that they would like help, then you can encourage them and invite them to book a call, to have a chat, to see if and how you could help them. Only if they express that they do want help. There you go. Now you're doing a lot of these conversations, you're moving people to the call. But what happens if they don't want your help? What happens if there's a bit of a standoff and like they're just not going with it, or they go with it but they don't want the help? Well, no problem. If someone says, hey, Kay, I'm not looking for help, I'm trying to hit this, but I'm gonna do it on my own. No problem, mate, no problem. You wanna hit that 10K a month on your own? Fantastic, let me know how you get on. By the way, I have a video where I broke down a step-by-step guide of getting from 0 to 10K a month. Would you like me to shoot that over to you? It might be of help. You see, so now I'm just giving them a resource. And they're probably very thankful. Yeah, thank you, Kay, so much. No problem, cool, check that out. Yeah, I'll check back in with you to see how you got on with it. That's the follow-up right there. So now we're working this pipeline. We are qualifying leads. We are booking appointments where it's appropriate to do so. We're sending resources, we are following up, and new followers are coming in, new leads are coming in. We're doing the same with them. You're building up this pipeline. You're building up that goodwill bank and you're nurturing people. And at the same time, the more you do of this and the more content you do and the better you do, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get more. Where did we put this? I probably didn't put it, but you're going to get more inbound leads just booking appointments directly. So you do this in the background at the same time. This is how the whole thing works together. And I'll put this here as 5.1. So work your pipeline daily. This is where people drop the ball. Either they don't work the pipeline daily, or they just start nonsense conversations with people who aren't part of these qualified people, and they're not using social intelligence and social calibration. Number 6 is working one-on-one with clients in Zoom and the DMs. So you might think we've jumped a bit here. Okay, where did these clients come from? Well, as people are booking the calls, this isn't going to be a sales masterclass here. We'll be here all night. But as people are booking the calls, you're going to go through a sales framework or a sales script and see how you can help them. And if you've already got them to this point, you should be closing decently, because they obviously by this point know you, like you, trust you, see you as an authority. They've watched your content and spent hours with you. They perceive you as an expert. They've told you their current situation, their desired situation. They've told you their challenges. They've told you they want help. And if you've qualified correctly, they've told you that they are qualified, and they've told you that they're willing to invest in themselves to make this happen. So you should be closing around 30%, probably more, to be honest. But let's even say 30, because that's a good close rate, pretty standard. So now you will be closing some clients. Wow, you've got your clients now. You've got some payments, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've finally sold this high ticket offer that we've been working towards. But now what do you do? And you're probably thinking, all right, now I have to create a portal, I have to create a login, I have to create an email sequence for these people. I have to, oh my Lord, what do I do? I have to create a website for all this stuff. I have to create communication thing. No, you don't have to do none of that. You're doing coaching, consulting, you're helping people get the result. That stuff can come later. The priority is helping them get the result. So a leaf out of my book, when I started my high ticket offer, I'm thinking back, January 2021, launched it for $1,500. It was 90 days long. People would get 9 Zoom calls with me. So one every 10 days, or a 45-minute Zoom call it was. They get some homework, and then they would just get access to me on Messenger for the duration of 90 days. That was it. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a curriculum. I didn't have any videos made. I didn't have a portal. I didn't have a login. I had nothing. I just had that. And then people's homework assignments, I would give to them. If we needed to collaborate, I would just do something in Google Drive and we would have a shared drive. That was literally it. So Zoom and DMs, that's literally all you need to deliver. And a lot of people will be scared to do that. As things go on, yes, once you've been doing things over and over again, you can create the portal, and you probably should. But until 10K a month, you don't need to. In fact, don't do what I did. Do as I say, not as I do. But I rode this method all the way to 65K a month. Even at 65K a month, I didn't have any curriculum built out, which is bonkers now that I think about it. But the clients just picked up so fast. I didn't even know what to do at the time. But you're not going to have that same fate. You have me here to guide you. So that's the Zoom and the DMs. Number 7 here. This is where we're moving on to that. Number 7, leverage, number 6, into course curriculum and group coaching or group consulting. So the course curriculum. In number 6, when you start working with people and you see, oh, I'm having to repeat myself over and over and over and over again, that's probably a good sign. Just like in health coaching, if you have to explain how to track macros, guess what? It's a good sign because everybody needs that. So if everybody needs that, that can be packaged up into an evergreen video. So now instead of wasting your time and theirs on something that they could just watch in a video, you can record that once and give that to the client. So I'm not saying you have to take one-on-one time away from them, but that time can be spent them going through it themselves, and then you can spend your time with them on more pressing tasks, or depending on getting the client the result, you don't have to spend the most amount of time with them. It's all about getting the result. So you could just maybe spend, like I did, instead of one call a week, I did one call every 10 days. It could be one call every 2 weeks for you. Depends how it works. And then group. So as you build up, this will be after 10K a month. Honestly, I would do one-on-one until you're doing like 20, 30K a month. Like, don't try and escape the one-on-one like early on. 20K a month is like $250,000 a year. 30K a month is $360,000 a year. God forbid we do a little bit of one-on-one work with our clients, right? At some point though, there will become a time where you can't take on more. Because if you're charging 3K a client and you get 10 clients in a month, that's 30K. You do that again, that's 30K. You do that again, that's 30K. But if your trajectory is 3 months long for the clients, guess what happens? Then the first month you got 10 hours or 10 clients, second month 20 clients, third month 30 clients. If you're giving each one an hour a week, well then you're doing 30 hours a week. At that point it becomes quite cumbersome. At that point you either raise your price or you've got enough clients then. You're doing 10 a month at that point, or even before, maybe like 3, 4, 5 a month. That's where you'd want to go to, adding in a group component. So I'm not saying remove one-on-one altogether, but instead of one a week, it could be 2 weekly group calls and 1 monthly one-on-one call, because now they're getting more total time and they don't always need the one-on-one necessarily. Again, this is your business. We're going a bit further here, but you will decide when the time comes. So that's the group. Number 8 is leveraging more case studies and then considering a price increase. So all these people you've been working with here, you've been getting all these clients, you got the initial case studies, but now you've been working with people. If you've done a good job, you should get some cracking case studies. People going from here to here, people making more money, people losing weight, people getting healthier, people improving their relationships, or whatever you're coaching people in. Maybe they get better at chess, I don't know. But you should have some killer case studies now. And that's really what you want to do with this first batch of people. F the money. Look, I love money as much as the next person, but you're building something for the long term here. Don't focus on the money. Focus here on getting the best case studies and results you can. I did this, and this is what really propelled my career in online coaching. I got people some of the most crazy results, like going from $3,000 a month to $40,000 a month within a few months, going from $20,000 a month to $100,000 a month. Results like that over and over consistently, because I focused on getting them the result, and I want you to do the same. So now that you do this, you're going to get some amazing, here we are, case studies, and you'll be more comfortable with them, gather more, and then you can consider a price increase. A lot of people will say, charge what you're worth, like just pull a number out of the sky. It's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard. I started at 1,500, and guess what? Because of my experience, even though I'd never sold a high ticket offer, people jumped on that. It was priced for velocity because it was criminally underpriced. That's how I went within the first 120 days to making over 30 grand a month from having no high ticket offer. That's how within 8 months I was doing $100,000 a month. Yes, I stair-stepped my price up from there. I went from 1,500 to 3,000 to 500, and then we went up from there. But this is why. It's because we got such great results, and the price was definitely undervalued compared to what people were getting. That is the key. It's not just about pricing higher. You price higher when you can't deliver, you're going to piss a lot of people off. So that is considered the price increase. And then number 9, create the retention and upsell path. This is really the last one. I didn't even do this. Again, do as I say, not as I do. But I didn't do this until well over, I think, approaching or over 100K a month. But you've done so much on the front end to get these people 2K, 3K, 5K, whatever you're charging, and you get them the result. Then they're gone. You just part as friends, bye. And no, I mean, they could give you more, and certain people will want to. So you have a retention and upsell path. I recommend retention first because upsell is like creating or solving the next problem. So a retention path would be, hey, we've done some amazing work here for the last 3 months. Would love to continue working with you, continue rocking together, and get you to this goal now. So you just move the goalposts. You help them go from here to here. Now you can help them go from here to here, and so on and so forth. You could just renew them at the same price. If your price has gone up, you could renew them at the same price, so that's a discount. Or you could give them a discount because typically it's going to cost you more to acquire a new client than to continue to serve and sell to an existing client. So maybe you give them a 20, 30% discount. Again, it's your business, is up to you. But let's say you're getting an extra one person out of 5 or one person out of 10 every month to renew, and that's $3,000. It's an extra 36,000 in the year. That's not small money, right? And it's money that you otherwise wouldn't have seen, would have walked right out of your business and maybe walked into somebody else's business. You've already done great work with them. They already know you, like you, trust you, know they're not going to get scammed, know they got a great result. Trust me, they would rather give the money to you. And not everybody will, that's fine, but a certain portion of people will. And the upsell path, this is when you move further on. I wouldn't really worry about this until you're over 50K a month, maybe even over 100K a month, to be honest. But that's where it's like, okay, we've solved problem 1 for you. Now we solve problem 2 for you. So it's kind of like moving the goalpost, but it's a completely different scenario. So for me, that could be phase 1 could be helping somebody go from 0 to 30K a month. And phase 2, they go from 30K a month, they want to hit 80, 90, 100K a month and become the number 1 in their market. That would be different and maybe build out a team. So that's an upsell path. So I think that's everything. I think that is all of it, guys. See if I've missed anything out, but these are the 9 steps. I would have liked to make it 10, but I mean, technically I did because we had a 5.1 here. So it really is 10. These are the steps. Implement this, and I promise you, you implement this over a long time horizon, you do this in order, and you do not miss out steps, you will hit that 10K a month. You'll absolutely obliterate that 10K a month. You'll smash through that. So if this video was valuable for you, like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Share this with somebody who could use it. And again, if you'd like my help installing all of this, working together and showing you and doing Zoom to exactly get all of these things in your business, I've left that link in the description if you want to jump into that. Cool. If not, completely fine. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Take care.